right, let's do this. All right, I'd like to call the special meeting of the Town of Cromwell Board of Finance to order. It is 7:33. I know it's not on the agenda, but Steve, the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Okay, thank you. Next item up is to seat alternates. Can I have a motion to seat Mr. Flanders in for Mr. Kelly?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Waganowski. Mr. Maley, you second? Yeah. Yeah, okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, Mr. Flanders, you are in. Item C, citizens' comments. All right, come on down. Do we have lights back there? Should we be? No? We're just trying to save on the bill? That's good. Okay, name and address for the record, please.
James Rood, 25 Highbridge Road. Firstly, thank you for having public comment at tonight's special meeting. Much appreciated. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the town council, and the Board of Finance on a very thorough review of the expense side of the budget equation. Unfortunately, I'm disappointed that on the revenue side of the equation, that there was only superficial, cursory, and incomplete discussion of the revenue items prior to the referendum vote. I appreciate that we're going through all that information this evening, but I do believe that it would be very helpful in the future for such information to be available prior to the referendum vote. I also would suggest that it might be appropriate for the next time there's a Charter Revision Commission, for the Charter Revision Commission to consider moving the referendum back one more week so that all the information would be available prior to the vote, and we have some kind of idea of the range of what the mill rate changes might be for the current budget. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Seeing none, moving on to item D, new business. All right, can I have a motion to provide a non-binding recommendation to Town Council for the following appropriation within the special revenue funds for the 26-27 budgets? A, the dog fund for $23,900. We'll stop there and we'll do another one for
So
the sidewalk
moved.
fund. Moving Mr. Waganowski, is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Flanders. All right, Sharon, same deal? Yep. Very thorough. Okay. Any, please make sure your mic's on. That's okay.
I don't know if I've blanked out on this completely. I don't remember this being a non-binding recommendation. Oh, we did?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Well, I mean, why
is it non-binding?
Is that not binding like everything else we do? Yeah, let's put it on the record.
Okay, so in the past, you guys would approve those budgets, but after Tony and I looked into it, it didn't say in the charter that you guys were supposed to approve them, just send them to the town council. So that's why we're saying a non-binding. But if you go to your general fund budget,
Yeah,
in general expense, the 100,000 for the sidewalk fund is in there.
right.
And then out of the dog fund, 9,900 is in the ACO budget.
The what budget?
Animal control, sorry.
And where's the other 12,000?
That is a budget that we've always approved, isn't that state statute, Tony, for the dog fund?
Dog licenses.
Okay. I'm not following why our action wouldn't be an approval.
If I remember correctly, the charter doesn't require it.
Whether the charter requires it or not, I mean, if the charter specifically said maybe you should not do this, I can understand that. If the charter is silent, then it would seem that the state statutes would obtain, and those require us to approve all expenditures of the town.
We discussed this last year.
I have no recollection of this.
Last year, the same wording was on the agenda.
That may have been, but I'm saying I have no recollection of that discussion. Did the town attorney suggest this?
I can't remember at this time.
Well, I'm gonna tell you where I'm going here. I'm gonna,
Take off the non-binding.
what?
Take off the non-binding and just.
That's exactly, yes. All right, so I'm gonna make that motion
To amend?
to amend, to remove the words non-binding.
Second?
Okay, there's an amendment to remove the non-binding wording made by Mr. Mealy, seconded by Mr. Wagonowski. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay. We now have a revised motion on the table to make it a binding recommendation on the dog fund for $23,900. Further discussion on the revised motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Can I have a motion to provide a binding recommendation to town council for the following appropriation within the special revenue funds for the 26-27 budget, the sidewalk fund at $100,000?
So moved.
So to follow up, I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Wagonowski,
Yeah.
seconded by Mr.
I
Mealy.
hate to interrupt you.
Yeah.
The charter does say non-binding.
The charter says non-binding.
It says, that it's
Okay.
reviewed by the Board of Finance, who shall provide a non-binding recommendation and then, approved by the town council. Sorry.
Okay.
That's why I believe we changed it last year.
One
Okay,
of, one
did
of
we
the
just-
many bad changes we've made in the charter. Okay, but removing the words non-binding, does it make it any more or less binding? So,
Well, hold on, let's do this. Let's pass the sidewalk, then we'll go back
Right.
and figure out how to undo what we did, put it back, and then we'll get to number 2. So, let's,
what I'm saying is, if you remove the words non-binding, if it is a recommendation from us, which the charter says is non-binding, then it's non-binding.
so that
It's still a
supersedes it anyway.
recommendation, yeah, right.
Then fine, as long as we didn't ruin the budget.
No,
Okay, great.
and we've already spent
Yeah.
this money, by the way.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I think we voted on to provide a binding recommendation.
correct.
That wasn't my,
No,
that wasn't my,
That's what
that
I'm
wasn't
saying.
my
That
amendment.
wasn't
My
your
amendment was to remove the words
John
non-binding.
I made the motion for binding, because I was trying to be too cute by half.
I just wanted to make sure we all.
All right, do we feel better if I just if someone will make a motion to remove the word binding from the sidewalk fund motion?
Thought I
Okay.
did, but okay, all right.
I said the word
Okay.
binding,
Oh,
because
okay.
again, I was just trying to be
If I could clarify my previous motion, it was to remove the words non-binding.
non-binding. I got you. So we're set there on the first one. So
Yeah.
the dog fund, we're good. On the second one, can someone propose an amendment to take out the word binding in the motion?
Same motion as previous.
Made by Mr. Mealy, is there a second? Said Mr. Wagonowski. Discussion on the amendment. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Okay, so now we're back to square. Discussion on the $100,000.
I'm gonna have no discussion on it, but I'm gonna say two things, hopefully, which don't lead us to a huge discussion. One is, we've already spent this money. It's already in the budget. So I don't know why we're appropriating it again. But it would, I guess, be transferred from a,
Transferred from the general fund to the sidewalk.
right, it's simply transferring it from one's fund to another, really. So we're not really appropriating it again. Secondly, I'm not sure, what the town council could do without the money that we put in there, so that doesn't make any sense, even if it's in the charter, but okay, there we are, we're done, I'm done.
So if we leave it, the term as an appropriation, are we good? Or do we gotta change it from an appropriation?
If you pass it, we're good.
Okay, further discussion?
Yeah, you referenced, sorry, where is it? I know Sharon, you said it was in the general
expense.
expense, I, just,
Number 16.
okay,
Sidewalk fund right in the bottom of the page. Mike.
okay.
Near the bottom.
That's fine, I don't need to closure on that to vote.
Cool. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Okay, can I have a motion for discussion and possible action to approve the transfer in the amount of $35,329.18 from the CNR appropriation for the WIS exit signs LED renewal to an appropriation for WIS LED gym lights?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Ganowski, seconded by Mr. Blanchett. Okay, so if I'm of the understanding, this is part one of two of an appropriation made previously that fell short of the need, and we are rearranging funds in order to take care of other projects for the schools. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any other background or detail other than what was sent, or anything more from Claudio?
That's all the background I have. They were approved 97,197. They spent 19,254. They wanted to use the balance to take care of two projects that did not get approved. And that's what they're coming to you with, to use this money to do that.
Okay. Discussion?
Were those, what year were those projects originally authorized?
The 97 was last year,
Last year meaning fiscal '25?
fiscal 26, it was this year.
This year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fiscal year 26. And the gym lights and AC window replacements were on the list for CNR this year, and we took them off, so they want to use the extra money to do
Right.
those projects.
But I'm saying the money that we did give them, which they're now trying to reallocate, was this fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And they're looking to expend this in this fiscal year as well, right?
Well, the CNR fund is a multi-year fund, so they can,
Right, they can spend it when they want, but I think they're ready to move on it, I think,
Yeah,
as soon as
they are.
possible.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your hand.
We're just doing the first one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep. Mr. Flannery, you're up, hand up, yes? Six?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, motion carries. Can I have a motion for discussion and possible action to approve the transfer in the amount of $23,228 from the CNR appropriation for WIS exit signs LED renewal to an appropriation for ECS AC window replacements?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Wagonowski, seconded by Mr. Blanchett. Okay, we got the topic, same story, same deal, and this time this is for AC window replacements. Did we have this discussion this year around CNR?
Believe so.
Or we saw it on the list or something?
it was on the
was
list,
on
and
the
it was one of the ones that was removed, I believe, from Q3.
Okay,
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
wanna see
yeah.
the, if
Yep.
you wanna see the paper, my note was removing because they're gonna use the CNR. They're gonna
oh,
look
they were,
to
they,
do-
okay,
Yeah,
so
there was
you,
already a premonition
kinda-
about this, yeah.
yeah, gotcha, okay. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Can I have a motion for discussion and possible action to approve an appropriation in the amount of $24,000 within the CNR fund balance for a consulting firm for town manager search?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Wagonowski, is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Flanders. Okay, just a brief overview. Somebody?
I mean, Amanda got this, information that I attached came from CCM.
Okay.
So this isn't from any vendor, it's from an organization.
It's from CCM that this is what the typical vendors.
Right,
charge.
it's their estimate.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
their estimate.
And this is, this is our current,
Yes, that's the
CNR.
current CNR balance.
yeah, okay.
Further discussion? Okay. You guys want a minute? No. We're good? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor signal by raising your hand. Motion carries. All right, moving on. Okay, can I have a motion for discussion? Hold on. Do I just skip down to item 6 then here? Right? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna skip over 5 because the referendum was approved. Okay, we're now gonna go down the list in order to set each level of the mill rate. I know we've mixed these around after a couple years, but hopefully we have this in the order that kind of makes sense now. We want to approve each letter down the line. We want a motion for each one, correct? Yes. Because I know that A has got both the grand list and the senior tax relief program. I'm gonna break those up if that's all right. Okay. So can I have a motion to discuss the grand list to be used for the 26-27 fiscal year?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Waganowski, seconded by Mr. Blanchett. Good evening. Come on down. We appreciate you being here.
Good evening.
Good.
I came here just for you. That's all.
Feel special. Thank you.
I know. I had a very busy day. Trust me today. I was like, I gotta get back to Cromwell.
All right. Please give us a little overview from the what we have been looking at least so far. We have got a grand list that is remaining flat from a year ago. Would like your thoughts on that, and just to make sure that that is appropriate.
Yeah. So the grand list as of 2 days ago was approximately 1.913 billion, I should say. Which is
Do we have any paperwork to go with this?
This is now going to tie to that spreadsheet there. Yep.
This one?
Yeah.
Where am I looking?
You're looking at the current grand list about line 85.
85.
It's gonna be, up here.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Ed, we'll put it up.
That would be great.
Yeah.
You have to put 02 and turn the TV sign, yes.
I printed it out. It's extremely small.
There it is.
oh,
All right, so
It's
we are going to be
even-
looking
even
at
smaller. Yeah, I
You can blow
know,
it up.
but I mean,
You know, you gotta watch out, because you'll shut those off. You gotta go over there.
Sharon, you can make that bigger for them.
Yeah, that's
Give
what-
it just go to view
There you go.
up top there.
Or click the bottom. Either way.
yeah, a couple of
What
ways.
do you want me to do?
Sharon, just go to the bottom right and click the plus.
Oh, there we go.
The plus sign right in the bottom right.
There you go.
I don't have that.
Keep going.
Yeah, there you can see. Yes, it's above. See, you see that line right there, right there.
They won't let you. Hold on.
not
Because you're going to sell. You're going to sell. Escape.
There you go. Whoa.
So is that big enough?
Keyboarding.
What'd you do with it?
Got us go back over.
Page up. Page up.
Why is it doing that?
Pressing control, Joe. Don't press control.
Oh, it was.
Just page up.
No. There was a pile of papers on the control button.
So, John, I'm a baby boomer. If you need tech support, feel free to.
Appreciate it. Okay, how's that, guys?
Is that big enough?
Yes.
Yeah, good? All right, so we're looking at line 85.
Okay.
Okay.
I printed it all. I mean,
Okay, I apologize.
now-
The show is back to you.
Actually, I should have started with my second paragraph. The grand list as of May 4th was 1917, not 1913, that's up there. I
Okay.
recommend using 1913 because we do still have a couple current court cases. The good news is Covenant has been resolved and all that is through the budget, and everything's all done with that. We have two interesting cases, which was about late penalties. It was Eversource and Yankee Gas. November 1st is the filing deadline. There's a 25% penalty, which is substantial for them, which together comes over $7 million for those two accounts. They brought it to the post office. The post office did not postmark them until they were late. So of course they got the penalty because according to the postmark, it's dated late. So when they found that out, they went to the post office. They found out that the post office has changed their procedures. They don't just automatically postmark now. They move some of the files, and 62 towns, I believe.
Yeah.
The information went to Springfield, Mass, and it took a couple days in the delay. And the postmaster sent a letter to us, and they can't confirm or deny either way, but they just talked about their change of policy. So the statute just says the postmark, so of course we penalize them. So there's $7 million that they are taking us to court. I can't see how they will win, but that's substantial when you're talking about setting the mill rate. So then we have two other cases that are really not that much. They come to about 1.7 million. So I recommend it 1913. It's a little less than half of it, just in case. So that was my recommendation to the finance director and Tony to use. There is good news for fiscal year 28. Just so everybody knows, the Amazon building that had a tax abatement, $26 million will be coming onto the grand list, and the Marriott will be losing another $2 million. So altogether, it's just around $29 million in the assessment next year. But unfortunately, that's next year. This year, you have to just get through one more year. And then I'm here for any questions that you may have.
Perfect. We'll go down the line. Mr. Flanders? Mr. Maley?
No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Mr. Fidel?
Hey, Shauna, how are you?
Great.
Hey, the Covenant Living,
Yeah.
I was looking at the budget book. I think this is from 2025. It's got a valuation. I know you may not know the number offhand, maybe you do, like 56,426,000. And is that the reduced number, or is it like, that's not the real number anymore because it's less assessed or something? Or
Yeah.
maybe you could explain in simple terms
I
if
don't have that
possible.
with me, so I can't recall off the top of 70. So I would think that that's the value now, but I could get back to you on that, but I don't know off the top of my
Maybe
head.
more of a simple question. Was the difference in opinion, whatever happened, because they thought it should be assessed less, we
Yeah.
had assessed it here, they thought it should be less, and somehow it worked out.
It was
that
pretty close to the middle of where
Okay.
they were and where we were.
Okay.
So
And is that, like, how does that, like, only because it was a pretty big one, like, at some point, like, we're gonna be doing this big reassessment soon,
yeah,
like, how does that, I mean, how do you control that going forward if you can't even, like,
there's no control over that, unfortunately.
I mean, we're gonna assess it, or you're gonna assess it, and they may come and say, we don't agree, and they're gonna go through the same potential thing, sort of, I guess?
Yeah, revaluations for 27. Every time you go through revaluation, you're going to get so many people that will take a tax appeal just because. Some people are, you can just basically count on a tax appeal because that's what they do. So. Yep.
That was assessed by the firm that we hired, right?
Yes, yes.
It's always fun to try to think about the calendars, but you just mentioned it as well. I think when we say the reassessment is being done in real calendar time, we're talking about the work commences this fall of calendar year 2026. Your work, other work to assess the values, but the question is just, it won't, I think, hit our actual tax rolls or what we do, I think, until fiscal year 29.
That's correct. The assessments will be the 27 grand list, which is the 29 fiscal year
Okay.
budget.
Yeah.
I did announce that I am retiring, so there will be somebody coming to take my place, and they,
They're running out of retirement cards at the Walgreens.
yeah.
Sorry, you're gonna have to wait.
Trust me. Gary Olson says, "What are you doing to me? Just stay." She keeps trying to get me to stay. But
Okay.
yeah, the first thing that person has to do is probably find who's going to do the revaluation. State just passed a new law defining what an interior inspection is, so it makes it a little easier, so you don't have to spend as much money trying to get inside of homes. But it's still beneficial to, I always hear, why you have to get inside your home? Well, when you think about value and what you're being taxed on, is the value of your property. How many people buy a house without going inside of a house? I mean, inside does matter. The size, the location, the condition, yes, that's probably the big part of it. But what's inside does matter. Why do you buy this house over that house? Where is it finished? Where it's not finished? What kind of stuff is inside the home? So, the law is market value, so obviously we're just trying to come up with that. But that will be the FY29 year. And obviously, as everybody knows, the market has boomed since 22, so we'll see what happens.
I could just jump in here, just for the folks at home. What we're talking about is something that will happen for the October 1st, 2027 grand list, which will affect the fiscal year July 1st, 28 through June 30th, 29. So it'll affect tax bills that are due in July of 28.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ed.
It's fiscal 29, but you pay it in 28.
He's right. You're going to start paying in
You
28.
pay it in July of 28.
Right,
Yes.
I'm just trying to
Yes.
clarify to people what it means.
But it means this time next year, we won't be looking
Not
at.
next
yeah,
year, 2 years.
Yeah, our work. Okay, thank you, yeah. Yep, thanks.
Just a quick question. You mentioned the Amazon building, that 20 million or
26 million.
26 million. Is that the full amount coming on, or is there more
Yeah,
after?
no, that's the full amount.
Okay.
They had a 100% abatement,
Okay.
so I'm wondering if they will appeal in the future. So now that they have to pay on their building. Now, with reevaluation in 27, it's 1 year, so probably not, but I can see that happening for the 27.
Okay. Thank you.
One more time around real quick. Everybody good? Okay. Discussion. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of the proposed grand list figure to be used to set the mill rate signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, and congrats on the retirement.
Thank you. I'll stick around till you get through here. So
Well,
just
hey,
in case.
listen, the fun stuff's still coming.
That's right.
So,
That's why they came. Where's the popcorn?
Absolutely. Okay, can I have a motion for discussion and possible action on setting the senior tax relief program figure at a proposed $60,000?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Waganowski, seconded by Mr. Fidelli. This is a figure that comes to us from which organization, guys?
I get it from Shauna.
From Shauna. Okay. This is an increase from 55 from last year, correct? Okay. Does anybody need a background as far as what this is and why we utilize it, or are we feeling pretty good?
The only question I have is, I think it was 50,000 last year.
55.
55 last year?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, and it's gonna be 60,000 this year?
Correct.
Okay, we're making that change of adding 5,000.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to row, is it 75? Yeah. So just scroll up just a little bit there, Sharon.
Oh, sure.
Sharon.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Would you mind just scrolling up about 3 rows there? There we go. So line 75 right there. Okay. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. We'll do it that way because we're dealing with money. Okay, motion carries. Okay, can I have a motion and possible action to approve the projected revenue other than taxation to set the fiscal year 27 mill rate?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Wagonowski, seconded by Mr. Fidelli. I know, when Dan's here, you guys kind of have the, yeah, it's all right. We'll get going with it. Okay, so Sharon, if you wouldn't mind, roll up to about line 59. Okay, so I believe this is the section we're talking about, right? 59 down to about 71. Okay. Is that the right amount, Sharon? No, that's that. Yeah, that's an old spreadsheet there, Sharon.
This is the one you sent me today.
No, because the one I sent you guys had the additional
All right, so,
state of Connecticut, right? This.
Yes.
yeah. I
Yeah.
have
7,229,000.
10,229, so-
The summation.
It's the sum of 59 to 71. The state of Connecticut figure should be 7,276,329. Sharon, if you just want to go back into that one, we can just type it in. Just go back in. Go to the state of Connecticut. Ready? Put 7276. Yeah.
7276.
329. All right, do me a favor, just sum those up again. Let's make sure we got the right. Everyone feel good now?
10,229, 350.
Not that this matters, but you have 250 in there
I
for
have
the assessor's office
10,229, 100.
We got 250 for the assessor's office there, Sharon,
instead of 500.
instead of 500. All right, let's try it again.
There we go.
We're good? Okay. All right, so just for everyone to know, these are the figures, for the most part, we'll get into this in a second. These are the figures, for the most part, that are pulled from the revenue budget books. Right, Sharon? That was a part of that was part of our books that we got here in the revenue tab. The changes that have been made since then really come from the state of Connecticut, and that was from the funding that has taken place over this past weekend or so. And that reflects an additional 588.
Yeah.
Okay. That was in that way, and the miscellaneous also came from so I think between that and the assessor's office coming down to 50, Sharon, everything else matched what we had previously, right? Do you happen to have that, Matt? Do you have the revenue?
The revenue tab.
Well, just you're right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to make sure. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm sure we're good, but.
So on your revenue thing that I gave you tonight, I put in bold which ones you need to,
Thank you, Matt.
This.
You talking this one, Sharon?
this one, I put in, if you go to the state of Connecticut, I highlighted which numbers are different.
Okay, it's about 4 pages in. Okay, so the 66,024 from the Pequot Mohegan grant.
Right, and
Uh,
we're 2002 more for adult education,
And the 520,405 from the supplemental.
405.
Okay. All right, so, and then just for clarity's sake as well, I know there was some discussion, and Mr. Maley, you might be able to chime in more on this than I could, discussion around the ECS figure of the 520 coming to us, coming,
Right, it's not ECS.
it is not ECS. Okay.
It is,
Please put, is your mic on?
oh.
Yeah.
I believe it's called, it is not, first of all, it's not being distributed on the ECS formula. And secondly, it's not part of the ECS. As you can see, Sharon has it as a separate line because it is a separate grant. There was a lot of confusion as to the language surrounding this over the weekend. The last version of it, in terms of what can be done, was passed, I don't know, about 11 o'clock last night. The language is not what the legal office might have suggested, but the Office of Policy and Management is convinced and will tell anyone who calls that, and I have I've said the following, and everyone tells me yes, which is, so we treat this as if it is any other revenue coming from any other source without limitation. And the answer I've gotten is yes. So.
So
could be-
placing it in this cell, in this spot is an okay.
It is fine, it is, in any, and the real question is related to the question of whether it affects your MBR or not. Well, it doesn't, because of course, it's not an expenditure, it's an income stream. But without getting into the weeds of both the state and the local budgets, many people can't seem to understand those are different things. So the attempt was, and we believe it was successful, was to make it absolutely clear that this is a separate grant, not related to ECS, vaguely related to ECS perhaps would be the best thing to say. But it is not, and it's definitely either the spending of it or the taking of it does not change your MBR for next year.
Very much appreciate the insight as always. All right. Do you guys have anything to add to the revenue?
Just like, is OLR gonna come out with something on that?
Well, OPM will.
Okay.
I'm hoping that they and OLR say the same thing, or OFA. I'm not sure which, but
That was our interpretation this morning.
that is what I am hearing from everyone who I can get an answer from.
Well, yeah, it is confusing.
It is not what we recommended. The key, I think the actual key thing as to what they did last night, where there were two sections in the original bill on Saturday, which ended with the phrase, "This language shall not displace any expenditures for previously made expenditures." Those two sentences were removed. That, I think, is really the operative section. There was a lot of other puffery, which I think was unnecessary, but welcome to my world.
Okay. Anything, just Tony, Sharon, anything more to add, Shauna?
We agree with that.
Okay. All right, I'll open it up to discussion then.
What's the actual question? Oh, the totality of that.
Yes.
We're still on, okay.
Just so I, can we go out of order? or-
No, I just said, were you looking for the total number?
No.
Oh, you were saying.
Try to remember where we were.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's go ahead, Madam Secretary.
I was just wondering, why, I know there's a lot of nuance about what does it affect MBR, I get that, but was that also tied to, what if this was considered just an additional ECS grant? Would there just be implications about how we could or couldn't use it?
The concern was that if it were seen as another ECS grant, whether the taking of that would somehow, and to be honest with you, I can't imagine how, but would somehow factor into our MBR for next year to increase the amount that we need to
Right.
spend on education by the amount of this grant.
I guess what I'm asking is now, if let's say our current ECS funding is like 5 million,
Yeah,
when we talk about what the budget for the BOE is,
Yeah.
it's already netted of the 5 million that they're getting from ECS.
no. It's
Right.
not, is it? Don't,
Right? When we approve how much the Board of Ed
right.
spends, isn't it?
No, the ECS is in this number that we're
Okay,
talking about right
my
now.
mistake. Oh, that's right. Those are all
Yeah,
those special grants. Okay,
Yeah,
disregard.
we
I
lump it in the
gotcha.
7,276.
The ECS is in the seven, well, yeah.
Seven.
Yeah, yeah.
Seven.
No, I'm thinking about the other grants at the back. Yeah.
It's 6.177 something is for each.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's by far
Okay.
the biggest number in there.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I think they were saying, the implication is, if you want this extra 500, that means implicitly you're finding 500,000 more to spend on.
It's as if you're
XYZ, but
spending,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
again,
Yeah, I know.
we're
I know,
not
yeah,
spending
right.
anything, we're
Yeah, it's-
taking
it's a
income
revenue.
in.
Okay.
So why is that confusing? I
Alright.
don't know.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, thank you.
There was an hour to go. My understanding is that people in Hartford and Bridgeport might have a different perspective on this. It may have a different change, because needless to say, their numbers are
Big.
dramatically
Yeah,
higher.
yeah.
It may have a different change in the way that they change both their tax rate and it might actually change their spending on, they might use some of it to increase spending on education. But they didn't want to be bound by any of it because next year they won't have the income. So,
Further discussion on the revenue.
Hey, Tony or Sharon, maybe both, just on the building inspection line item for revenue, it's not in John's spreadsheet, it's just really from the budget book. The building department page itself, or the second page, has an indication of permit fees being $620,000. And I know we're recommending to have only 365.
Yeah, cause he told me, so if you look at what, where,
I was going off the budget book, and it was the section 7, the building inspection, or building department, building department. And then he has a permit fees box in there, and, you know, it's got the years as always, but for this fiscal year, it shows 620K.
no.
I realize it's a department level, I know things can change, I was just
Yeah,
curious,
if
like,
you
how
look
it
for
got from
revenue
that
report,
number.
That's what we've received.
This is anticipated for this coming year, Sharon. For fiscal FY '27, he's saying
Well,
620.
He told me I was gonna hit budget this year, and I talked to him the other day.
I thought we asked something about that too, because there was such a big increase
Yeah.
during our budget.
Because I think part of this was that whole new tool, right? They're gonna charge more for permits now and all that kind of good stuff. That's the tool,
No, it didn't go in yet.
but won't it go in part of fiscal '27 now? Somebody's saying yes.
It's gotta go to the council, he's still,
Oh, working out the fee schedule or whatever, that's
Yeah.
not set yet? Okay, so I get, this is kind of like a gross estimate, but if town council says no, or whatever else, then this wouldn't be a real number
well,
then.
he's still fine tuning, and, then it goes to the council, and then it's gotta be approved. And then
Sure.
it's in the form of an ordinance.
Okay, all right, so I get it, so it's kind of in limbo. So you guys are recommending kind of go maybe sort of like with a number that we just had for this year's budget, basically?
Yeah, I talked to him this
Okay.
week, like I said, and I asked him, and he said, yep, that's what I would go with.
Okay, and obviously if
I
we,
mean, I don't know what projects are out there, so that's why I went to him.
I get he's estimating 31 million in projects, who knows, it could be 20 million, it could be
Yeah.
40 million, I understand that. Okay, I just want to at least ask that
I
question.
thought we asked that.
Was
We
the
do- we
big
do have
driver
some big-
the,
We do have some big projects.
Crown Plaza?
That if they get started,
Could be.
that could,
Sure,
that could increase.
yeah,
I mean, implementing a software tool is not gonna automatically just
well,
double the estimate from 3 to 600, you know.
No, but it's
Well-
going off of what,
only just so,
Yeah.
so like the estimate for 25-26 was 26 million of construction and 390K of fees, only going up a little bit, 31 million, and the fees is projecting to go to 620. I think they are like double, they are
Yeah.
charging, the thought was to charge a lot more for the fees, because it's so easy, it's online, and you get all the self-service stuff. I get on a big building, who knows, I'm just
Yeah.
going off what, I have no idea, I didn't talk to John, I'm just going off what's in the,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, what do I know? And then, okay, so fine, thank you. So then the town clerk, the fees add up to like 387, and I know it's a bit of a spitball, but we have 300. And Sharon, do you have any insight into like why we may have done that?
Taxes can go either way.
Up and down.
Depending on real estate, some years we go high and we don't hit it.
Sure.
And, you know, we've had a year where they're skyrocketing and then, you know, yeah, so I talked to Joanne and she said all their revenue is hit or miss.
Okay,
It's all
Okay.
like market dependent.
sure, okay. I just want to at least ask the questions. Okay, thank you.
further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of setting the, other than tax revenue as presented signify by saying aye. Oh, Oh, yeah, sure. Let me sum it up here. Or Sharon, do you still? No.
10,229,100.
$10,229,100.
Make a few $100 changes while we're sitting here, because what I have from today is that number.
No, there was an old version, I think that,
Sorry,
was an
Vice
old
Pres-
version.
yes,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was bringing that up to this version.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
bringing it up to this.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Okay, all those in favor of the figure presented signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. Okay. Can I have a motion for discussion around, well, you know what? I'll set it at what we have and then we can always change it. Can I have a motion to set the collection factor for the property taxes at 98.85%?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Waganowski, seconded by Mr. Maley. Okay. We moved this, we had it at what, 98.75?
It was an eighth less.
Yeah.
2 years ago?
2 years ago.
And we've had it at 98.85. Look, I know the current year, notwithstanding of what happened with the one instance, but I don't know outside of that if there is enough, data here to suggest that there really needs to be a big swing on this. Obviously, I'm open to hearing what folks, think of it or have to say. If you do take a look at that line 84, Sharon, would you mind scrolling down a little bit? So as of right now, that's 672, 239 number. That should be that buffer. So if you go into that cell there, Sharon, so C83 minus C79, so you can see that the 9885 is grossing it up by the 672. So that is supposed to be our buffer layer, kind of amount here. So again, I'm open to hearing what folks, seem to think. But again, outside of what we're dealing with on this one issue, for this year's tax collection, I don't know if anyone has any feels strongly one way or another on making a change.
I guess the one thing I would like to know, which I don't think we can figure out from here, is where would we have been if we had not had that one major reduction?
So it is of my understanding, and I'm getting this secondhand so we can
Yeah.
use it as, and we did ask, unfortunately the tax collector's not available tonight, but we did ask her to be here, is that the covenant living situation and that figure and that amount on a net basis is about equal to what we believe the shortfall is gonna be for this year. So had that not
Right.
happened, we would have
We would have
hit
been there.
about 100%, yeah,
Right?
correct,
100% of budget.
yeah.
They don't-
Just so I'm not completely, you guys agree with that assessment from the tax collector? That was the same messaging you received?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, good. I just wanna make sure I'm not completely on a limb there. So,
It would seem that then we made a rational decision and something happened, so we'd stay where we were. wouldn't we?
okay, like I said, and that's fine. I just wanna make
That's-
sure,
I just, I was assuming that was the case. And if it is the case, I would hope that that doesn't happen very often. It happens as often as somebody starts a giant project that we weren't expecting.
so. Further discussion around the collection factor? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, now the fun one. Can I have a motion for discussion? Let's see, how do I do this?
You can't really know how you pick a number.
You know what? I'm just gonna, I'll make it $1, and then we'll.
Yeah.
Does everyone agree with that? I'll just make it $1, and then we'll just make the amendment as we go and as we discuss
$1
it.
for,
How much fund balance to use? I'm just trying to figure out how to make this motion so we can discuss it.
we've done this in different ways many times. We go back and forth. My thinking has always been that what we should do is stop at this moment and figure out what the mill rate would be if we did nothing. Right? And that's, I assume, on there, yeah, right. It was earlier, I assume that's where we are, right? Which is.
Up here.
It's up here, okay.
Highlighted the cell right now.
Which would be 30.56,
That is correct.
okay.
Well, you guys don't get mad at it, but, and Ed, we are using fund balance though, right, for CNR.
Yes, that,
Well, yeah, I
do we have
understand.
yeah, that, to Steve's point, 100% right. So if you do scroll down,
Right,
okay, you see the line 118, 1973, okay?
I'm sorry, I'm using the let me see if I can
See, right there, it's right there.
Okay,
Line, which line?
1973, right there, 118,
Oh, line 118.
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
If you then scroll back up to line 73,
Yeah,
okay, it matches that right there. So that is taking that into account when you get to the 30.56. If you took that out,
we did $2 million of CNR this year?
Yeah,
did,
That's down.
Wow.
But yeah.
Okay.
so yes, that
Well,
is already
because this
taken that
includes-
into account.
That includes the schools?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
yeah,
How did that happen? Oh, okay. Got
Yes.
it. Yeah, all right. And, okay,
Or we make it, that you make the number 1973502.
and start there
Start
as
there.
a start. Yeah, we can
No,
do
but-
that.
More or less.
let's back, can we go down a little bit there? Back to where we were, yeah, okay.
Keep scrolling down, Sharon. Keep going. There we go.
Okay.
Sharon, scroll up. 300,
Wait, what?
84. There's something, yeah, scroll down,
Something's
Sharon.
not quite-
Yeah, there's another thing that is a little off.
What?
Keep scrolling down. Okay. The line 113, Sharon.
Yep.
Okay. Can you, here,
Oh,
I'm gonna do it.
yeah, I see.
Yeah, just do 60 to 365. Nope. Nope. I wish we had that.
We're good, we're good.
And then it
Party
changes
time.
it to it equals,
Wait a minute.
Oh, actually, no, not party time, we are screwed.
Just hit undo.
and then, cause you were using it 60.
Yeah, remember we talked about it.
Yeah, and this is the.
There you go, okay, that looks more like what I'm used to expecting.
Rounding's probably gonna get you,
Yeah, yeah,
it's not gonna top.
Okay.
right.
So that is meant to reflect 60 days. As the formula would suggest. So for us, for our purposes, well, let's do this, because I want to
So-
I want to get official here. Go ahead.
Well, just so I'm understanding, the mill rate that's on the page assumes we use 0 of the 2773, whatever. That, the number in blue that we were just, yeah, on line 117, we're using none of that, right?
No, we're using the, yeah, we're
Using all of it?
assuming, no. We're assuming you're using the 1973 to
Oh,
pay for CNR,
1973. Oh, yeah,
leaving,
no.
leaving 800,000.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right, but we're using it not for fund balance, not for. no rate
Stabilization.
reduction, we're using
Right.
it for, yes, okay.
Yep.
So our real balance, when we say it's available, but it's, on July 1st, it's not available.
Cause you've committed already.
Because we're committed to
1973.
something else.
Right, that's why.
So what's really available is, let's call it 800,000.
800,000. Right,
Under this formula,
correct.
okay.
The other item to look at and discuss as well would be in G 109, okay? That is from the original 1.8 million that we had used in debt service a few years ago. There was an interest payment that came out of that from this past fiscal year, right, Sharon? And the remaining balance there of 929, 949, there is nothing currently tied to that. Through the research, I believe that was done, and Tony, you can back me up on this, if we so choose that we wanted to access those funds to use towards this year's budget, or, allocate that this year, we can.
Right. You
Is
set the,
Wasn't that,
Is
wasn't the
this-
first part of that?
Well, let me see if I got it right. Is this the so-called $1 million set aside we did 2 years ago?
1.8 million.
1.8.
1.8 million set aside. So this was, we had a reduction in debt service payments, but we did not reduce debt service in the budget because we knew we were going to have future debt service that we could use this for. So,
Okay.
so this is what's left over from that, is that correct?
Yes, just so that when we are contemplating what we are looking to use, as I've been trying to, want to push and make sure that everyone knows just what are all the variables, right? And then one of the reasons we wanted to delay this meeting to tonight was the stuff in Hartford to get this, so that we just knew what levers we can potentially pull.
But we had used this, we made a conscious decision 2 years ago to attempt to smooth out the effects of our jagged budget payments. And this is part of that.
Correct.
So, needless to say, this is exactly what we did it for. So,
All right.
Okay.
Just so to make sure we get this for the record and for the minutes, I'm gonna make a motion to, I'm gonna use the CNR number, it's a good idea, Steve, just to at least get us going, and then we can play with the numbers, and obviously people can offer up amendments. Obviously, if we do decide to tap into that 929, 949, we're gonna have to make some sort of motion around that as well to reallocate that, or, right, Sharon does have the minutes from that meeting. Sharon, was that from 23 or 24?
It was 4/10/2023.
2023, yeah, so it was like 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
We knew
can
it
I
was-
have?
We knew it was coming.
Can I have a motion to utilize $1,973,202 to out of fund balance to apply towards the mill rate?
So moved.
And then, I'm sorry, John, I should have mentioned this when you said you were gonna do this motion. What we're doing, I mean, as part of the budget process, we already committed and reallocated from fund balance the 1.9 that you're gonna quote, right?
This
technically.
particular analysis or formula is dragging out 1.9 up top, assuming that's how we wanted to pay for the CNO
Right, what I'm saying
projects.
is we're not, the decision's already been made to spend the 1.973, right?
Yes.
We
No.
can't undo that now.
Well, no,
Well, it's not necessarily out of that bucket.
right.
We could, in theory,
Tax for it.
just tax for it and leave it in the fund balance.
We made a theoretical we made an actual decision to spend the money.
Yeah, agreed.
We made a theoretical decision,
To
which we will be doing
make,
tonight.
oh, okay, so this codifies that
To-
transfer.
to-
Okay,
to
okay,
codify
sounds good.
that, right.
All right,
Yep.
very good. Sorry, please.
Okay, Steve, did you make the motion?
I did.
Is there a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Okay, great. Okay, so now, again, there are a couple of things I think to look at and that are in play here. Sharon, would you mind, you know what? I'm just trying to think. Sharon, would you mind just scrolling up just slightly? Okay, just so that everyone kind of take a look at, and it's perfect, Sharon. Just so everyone can take a look at and see what we're dealing with from a fund balance standpoint, okay? So everyone should recognize the top line, the 14,684, okay? That's what you're gonna pull from your audit book, right? That was what that figure is at the end of June. Our Fund 3 projects that we love to discuss underneath there, we allocated 4725 recently out of the Cromwell Cultural District. The next line has to do with the Covenant Living situation, but that is a net number. That is what we believe at the end of the year the shortfall will be. Then down the bottom, things that are on the positive side for us, a conservative, estimate of the 300,000 in current year expenditures. And then in line 108, the overage and miscellaneous income, and if you go into that cell, it's not shown up there, but if you do go into it in that cell, that is a combination of, 744,000 of revenue being generated through the town, and then $525,000, Matt, you know more about this, from the Eversource, was it a rebate, or?
Yeah, energy credit rebate.
Energy credit rebate. So that is calculated within there. So that is how we come up with the net fund balance there. If you then scroll down, you'll see what the new 60-day reserve in theory would be after we put in 60 days over 365. The amount available after that is 2.773. we then take out those CNR projects we just discussed, that leaves the 799, 874 or so as a resource available to us, in addition to the 929, 949 that is available through that amount from 2023. So,
So that's, I mean, not much, it's like 800.
yeah, it was, I'd have to go back and see what the original, but yes, I mean, I think we've done some very slight, yeah, it's very close.
It's the rounding, because on the 60/365.
Is that what it was?
You put a hard,
Oh, did I put a decimal? All right, so,
4 decimal places, it's not like 90, so, you know, it's around.
yeah. So the considerations to look at, in my viewpoint, would be, A, obviously the impact on the mill rate of utilizing these funds. 2, what would we want to be able to have available to us during the course of the next fiscal year, should grants arise, should opportunities arise to take care of projects that we may need. And, as we've seen here, we have funds here, we have a one-time, I'm assuming one-time in from the state. I don't know. I'm assuming that's an appropriate statement at this point.
We certainly can't count on it.
Correct. And so it comes down to, if whatever we utilize this year, obviously a resource is not available to us next year. Or, having an even bigger jump or a bigger, hill to climb, because we just don't have these funds to be able to help offset things. So that's where I'll kick off the discussion, as far as what we would want to have available to us. As far as the remaining education funds, considering the add-on for the debt service for this year of the middle school, it's pretty close to that figure. After the plug that was in there, about 800 and, let me see what the debt service delta was. 360 minus 278. This minus,
So, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
For next year, though.
860.
As Sean explained, with the items coming, online, you're talking about $800,000 plus for next year.
For revenue?
Yeah.
on-
That's
on
okay.
abatement? Yeah, material.
That's, yeah.
Well, it matches with a $600,000 minus.
Sorry, that number that you just threw, that was the,
So if you take a look, at just the change in debt service from year to year,
yeah.
it's $860,000.
yeah,
We have the 929 to be able to kind of help with this this year. So would that be appropriate to use it to take care of the first year of debt service? And then really how much out of fund balance do we want to use in order to help with the mill rate, but at the same time too, offer us flexibility so that we can take care of things as needed over the next year. So I'll shut up now. I'll open it up for other discussion.
Can I just ask one question about what we're looking at? Getting back to the components of going farther down on this page. Yeah, right there. The thing that is said, called underage in current year expenses. Would I call that net from current operations? So that's the difference between our income and our expenses this current year. We expect only 300,000.
At this point, yes.
Okay, I'm just asking, that's what I would call. Okay. So this is a projection of where we expect to be on June 30th, not today. Correct.
Same thing, to be fair, same thing with the under collections. I mean, that's what's projected.
That's fine, I think that's.
Yeah, same way to look at it. Yep. Yeah, so on a net basis, 440.
So, and that, going back again, so the number that comes out as a mill rate if we do nothing other than we've already done is 30.56. So it should be on that page somewhere.
It is right here.
30.56.
And I guess.
But that is using CNR fund balance.
So, just for laughs, what number would it have to be if we wanted to keep the tax rate stable?
That's a great question. It's actually on there.
Is it?
It's cell F83. So,
F
go to
83.
the right-hand side in orange there,
Right there,
right up there on the right-hand side, Ed, in orange.
6 million?
Oh, there we go. Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make the check out to town of Cromwell, that's ready. Yep.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, we're not getting out of this without a mill rate.
No, I know. And, well, and what do we get from a mill?
2 mil. 1 mil is 2 mil.
Is it?
That's a
So-
2 billion grand less.
So, and here's a certain way to look at it. I'm gonna ask you guys to back me up on this, okay? If that is the case, and we take a look at what happened with the Covenant Living situation, okay? We'll call that about 0.45 mils, if you wanna call it the 740. If you wanna call the add-on to the debt service, that would be 0.5 something net, but because there is a plug in there, if you add that on as well, you're talking 1.2. So you put those two together right there, that's gonna be 1.7 somewhere in there, just along those two categories between the school add-on and the Covenant Living situation.
Where's the school number?
If you scroll up, it's gonna be, I'm just looking at the debt service.
Yeah, I
and-
know.
Yeah.
Oh, well, but the
right
debt
there.
service has other debt in it, right?
No, I'm talking strictly the add-on.
Oh, just the ad?
Yeah,
just
so
the
that
change.
860, if you recall,
Yeah,
that 2.7 from last year,
yeah,
we had another plug in there similar to the 1.8.
yeah, I remember. that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying on a net basis,
That's only like 0.3 mils.
the 860?
Yeah.
No, it should be point,
It's about point,
0.4.
yes, 0.4. Yeah, I'm saying
I thought
without
you
the
were
plug.
saying one.
No, I'm adding them together, the tax situation on the revenue collections
oh.
and
yeah.
that. So I'm just saying,
Those
those
two
two,
things.
those two things are gonna reflect 1 point
1.2.
something,
1.3,
no, yeah, even more than that, yeah,
1.3.
yeah.
That's still a lot.
The dollars is 1.5 million, right?
Yeah.
That's not even a mil. That's what I'm saying. 1 mil is 2 million.
Again, where I was getting the 1 point something was if you take the plug out from what we had in debt service last year. That adds it onto it.
Oh, you're looking at the school debt from a gross standpoint?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
no,
what I-
right, you kept saying the net. Oh,
Yeah. That's
How the hell is that possible?
And again, I will just reiterate, I mean, from our standpoint, if you take a look at cell E55 there, expense-wise, I mean, we're only, it's not even 5.6%. But
But revenue is
the
also
revenue
down.
side is, yeah. And because of that stabilization last year, the 2.6, that's also skewing it as well. We had that available and that's it.
If our expenses only went up 6%, how could our tax rate need to go up 11%?
But again, we plugged last year, we plugged 2 million and change.
Yeah,
I don't know where that is.
Oh, I know.
yeah. So if you take the
I'm-
two,
I'm saying if we plug in 2 million this year, we still go up more than 5%.
well, there's other considerations, right? Like as an example, we have a 60-day reserve. That bumps up 6 figures just because we've got a bigger, pot that we now have to protect. So there's that factor to look at it as well.
And Matt, and it was 2.6 million, not just 2 million. So,
Yeah, I understand.
So 6.7%.
What is it?
It's only 6.7% if we had the same 2.6 year over year.
Yeah, so 1% on revenue or whatever, yeah. Yep,
oh, that's a good point.
so. So again, I'm gonna assume something for a second, and you guys can
Right.
jump on me and say, forget it. I'm of the mindset that we utilize the 929, and really what we're trying to come down to, is, Sharon, if we keep scrolling down, would be what of the 800,000 there we want left to be able to have as an option for us to play with as things come up in the next fiscal year. That's, in my mind, that's where we stand. But again, I'm open, I want this to be an open discussion. So you guys have different thoughts, or please, go ahead.
No, I agree with you.
Well, I would like to throw one other factor in, which is, I think so. I'm not very close to it though, so let me get a little closer. You know, it's nice to have a 60-day reserve, but it is, as I believe the resolution says, that's a goal. The vast majority of towns in this state are nowhere near that. Many of them have none. It is, and I've said this many times before, and I think the the COVID situation, as horrible as it was for all of us as humans, and many of us as homeowners, it was not at all horrible for the town, because every time somebody got foreclosed on their home, an awful thing, well, guess who's the first people to get paid? We are. So we really didn't lose any money. It's nice to have a reserve for something, but as I have said many times, if you get to the point where the town of Cromwell or the state of Connecticut is bankrupt or approaching it, the big problem is going to be, how do I get away from the pitchfork wielding mobs, not where do I get the money? Society will pretty much have disintegrated by that point. So I have always been much less concerned with our keeping a particular fixed number as a reserve. I know the bond rating agencies love it. We're at the top of their list. And it's nice to be at the top, but it's not my number one priority for everything in the world. I would like to not completely shock the taxpayers of this town. I will guarantee you whatever number we come out of here is going to be shocking. It's just a question of how shocking. So I would say that number that you're suggesting, if we used all of those two items, that should be the minimum that we're starting at, not the maximum, I would think, in terms of what our reserves are. That's my thought.
Before, just, and
Yeah.
I appreciate the thought, and I appreciate it. I believe there was a little bit of research done with this. Tony, can you let us know what the current policy or resolution states, or what? Because here's what I just want to make sure we don't walk into.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% willing to hear you out, Mr. Mealy.
Yep.
What I don't want to do is, if we get to a certain point with fund balance
Yep.
that we're at 60 days or under,
Yeah.
then when things come up over the next course of the year, it's an automatic no.
It may be.
It may
Yeah,
be,
yeah.
but what I'd love to know is just what clarity we have around it. And I'm Mr. Mayor, I'm really glad you're here tonight, because there may be some discussion around revisiting this policy.
That's exactly correct. If you're gonna go with a fixed amount, you're gonna have to go back to the council, and the council will have to set a fixed amount. Right now,
I'm sorry, a fixed amount of what?
to have in reserve. I thought you just said.
Yeah.
You'd rather see a fixed amount.
No.
Um,
Well, I'd rather see none, but no
Okay.
policy. But the current policy calls for a goal of a percentage. Of it, yeah.
The current policy also says you shall not use it to, offset taxes,
It's a policy,
policy,
right.
yeah.
That's different from,
Let's
That's
get clear.
different from a
You're
statute.
saying shall not. Because I know there's been some different language. There was strive to,
Yeah.
there was shall not, there was, I just want to make sure.
I mean, right
Before
now-
we go down a path, I want to make sure we're,
Right now, I would, the current policy is no less than 15%.
it's a policy.
That's what the
Yeah,
policy.
policy's policy, it's a goal.
Okay,
It's not there's no legal requirement, there's no penalty for not following. I have many policies.
I'm just
that-
going by the fact that this is a policy as established by the town council.
Right, I understand.
And, that's what their policy says, and the policy,
The town
It
town
also-
council wants to vote for higher taxes, they have,
it also,
they can certainly try that.
Their degree of influence over you is higher than their degree of influence over this.
so it also says, in accordance with prudent budgeting practices, the unassigned fund balance will not be used on a routine basis to lower taxes or offset normal.
On a routine basis.
So I can.
is going to be less than. No, I agree. So, Tony, is the state 15, where's the 15% come? Is it 15 to 17 range? Is that it?
Okay, well, it says that the level of unassigned fund balance that the town strives to maintain is an amount no less than 15% of the town's general fund budget and no greater than 17%, with the intent of the town to aim for an amount equal to 60 days of operating expense from the current operating budget. Do you have, Sharon,
Yes,
do you have enough to hand out to the commissioners?
the fund balance policy?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, would you hand it out to them?
So,
So many weasel words.
so I know what I'm actually looking at. If we use the 929 and the 798 together, what mill rate does that create?
We're off this. We're all set with the policy?
What do you wanna call it? I think we're all set, if she's gonna pass it out, yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna pass it out.
But Mr. Flanders, yeah, if you wanna just call it for 1.7 million, just to make it even.
Fine, I don't, ballpark is close.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Yeah, the mill rate would be 29.66.
Which would be 2.3 up above, right?
I got two.
Oh, thank you.
You want them there.
So, just for, you okay? Okay. Just for, and I apologize, I was running around. Plugging the reserve figure, we currently have 60 days in there, right? If we plug in 55, that bottom line number, that's currently 800,000, okay? We put in 55, it jumps to 1.7, right, Chris? Yeah. So, and that 55 is 15%, roughly. So, now again, what I want to bear in mind is, if we go that route, are we scraping a bottom? I know that there's debate on that, but does that leave us with no real cushion in order to strive to comply to all the words that are in this thing? Mr. Mayor, do you want to comment?
Yeah, so two different comments that I have from my perspective. Number one, I do think you need to leave some level of cushion. This is the fund that we use to, and I guess we could do it differently moving forward, but we normally, if we have grant opportunities throughout the year, that we normally front it from the unassigned fund balance and then get reimbursed later. So I guess we could dip below 15% for that purpose if you guys so choose. The other thing that I had a question. 12%. So you could dip down to 12%. So hypothetically, if you don't leave the cushion, you would then be dipping down between the difference between 15 and 12% for grants when they came up. You just have to keep track of that when they come up. Do you know what I'm doing?
I didn't know where the 12.
Where's the 12 come in?
Yeah. So let me just. So if everyone has the policy in front of them.
As the mayor said, if the
can dip down to 12.
The money goes back into replenish.
Yeah, so that's about the question, it's a policy question, I guess, more, or practice question. Do you want to leave a cushion of something in the unencumbered fund balance above the 15% for that purpose? Or if we do have those kind of opportunities, just dipping down to the 12 to get reimbursed back up? So that's question number one. Question number two that I had is, you know, the policy, you know, I think Mr. Flanders alluded to it, you know, we strive to maintain, but this body has broad discretion over what that exactly means. But if the unassigned fund balance falls below the minimum level, it should be replenished by way of a plan developed through the budget process. I think this year we had a tax collection shortfall that is a one-time tax collection shortfall that won't be reflected because they got 3 years, Shauna, of tax credits, right? The 750. So would that not be an example of a situation where if you were to dip down below, that it is going to naturally be replenished because it's a one-time tax credit? So well, 3 years of tax credit squeezed into 1 year. So what I'm asking is it worth consideration for you all to dip below the 15% number for the purpose of making up that tax credit shortfall, because we know it's going to be replenished in the future year. There's not going to be that credit in future years. And I think that would be a valid reason to, you know, I think that's a rational explanation to say, why did we deviate from our policy? We had a tax shortfall due to a 3-year credit that was paid off in 1 year. And that does give you an extra $750,000 then on top of the 929 and the 800 to play with. So it gives you more wiggle room, and it also allows you to have a policy reason for why you're doing it that would be not inconsistent with this policy, but reflecting the fact you had a one-time shortfall. And I think based off of the fact that this says it strives and you know, it allows you, if you go below it, well, it allows you to do whatever you want, but if you go below it, it's no, right, frankly, right, it's not an ordinance, so it doesn't have the binding effect of an ordinance, it's a policy. But I think that would be a rational policy reason for saying we went below because it's not being used to lower taxes or offset normal operating expenses. This is an abnormal 1-year hit that was unexpected to a certain degree, but not exactly where we had originally assessed. So I think that gives you an additional 750 to play with within the confines of good budgeting.
For clarity on that 750, how much of that is recurring versus how much of that is just this 1 year?
It's
The
one time.
750, the 750 is all one time.
No, 250 is recurring.
250 is recurring, right?
Because we went down 250, but
the 750
it was 3
credit,
years.
That's
So
what
only- So 500 of it is not.
500
Sure.
of it is not.
Was
recurring.
is back.
sure,
Yeah.
500.
Yeah,
So
okay.
instead of 750, say you have an extra 500 to utilize. But I still think that gives you a credible reason to dip below the 15%, because it is an unexpected, unencumbered.
So here's I agree with everything you say. Here's the one bit that I think we need to just kind of kick around and go with it, is that, yes, this is a one-time, hopefully, situation, okay? Somewhere along the line, though, if we eat it all now, it doesn't mean that the whole is gone. At some point later on, we've still got to get back to it. So
Correct.
where I may view it a bit of, how do we smooth the curve rather than, okay, it's a one lump, and then, because if we do it all now, well, guess what? We're 750 next year. You know what I mean? Like, at some point, we got to get back to the top of the hill.
It would be, yes.
Yeah.
Points well
So
taken.
do we look at swallowing, you know, some now, some the next year, and some the year after? If it was a 3-year hit, you know, just again, I just want everyone to kind of view this. At some point, we're talking about it as a one-time deal, but at some point, we have to make up
the difference.
the whole.
Yeah.
So that's all. So.
But, you know, ideally, what I would just counter to that is ideally in a normal year, our collection, we're using a 98 point something collection. In a normal year, we have a 99. I think we normally go a little, do we always go 98?
Oh, no, most years we're at 100 and something.
Yeah, my point is that
Yeah.
our collections are abnormal this year, so I don't think it's as much of a hole as it would be if it was just for the purposes of smoothing.
I think our collections are at, like, maybe we're at just over 100% of what we budgeted, and it's 98.85, right?
Well, no, I think what the mayor's referring to is historically.
Oh, man.
Yeah, if we look at the bottom, I mean, Steve, you
I
got the
feel like
sheet?
we've been at like 100.
Yeah, I mean, going back the last 5 years, 100.93, 101.87, 101.58, 101.32.
That was COVID.
Right. Well, some of those are relative to the lower collection, and that's why we bumped
Yeah,
it
yeah,
up,
well,
but
we
yeah.
bumped it
Sure.
up, and we got, we dropped the site a little
Sure.
bit to there, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, valid
Yeah,
point,
all right,
100%.
And
Again, I'm
should-
just trying to get,
And per Shauna's comments earlier, I should point out the Amazon building will be coming online, which is the 500,000, so the whole is a.
Or
is-
the
is-
8, yeah.
Which is really, the whole
That
doesn't
is-
really actually exist if 250 is, I mean, I'm just saying, it does flatten itself out.
I think what we're all trying to thread the needle on here is how do we limit the impact? And at the same time, continue to give us the flexibility to be able to do things over the next 12 months. And I just want to make sure that we get that, get that appropriate. So that's all. Go ahead, Steve.
So I guess in this body here, you know, we've talked about the 60-day reserve, and we'd have to do a much thorough effort to look at it all. You know, I looked today, you know, and if I didn't do a complete scattergram, but to me, it looked like 10 to 12% was kind of across most municipalities. We are definitely higher than most. There are some that are higher than us. You're always gonna find lots of examples of it, right? It is a part of getting your rating. It is not like the thing that gives you your rating. You need to stop saying that, because it's not true. So it is part of the rating, but good fiscal policy is how you do it. Our expenses have been going up, and so this number just keeps going up. As you said, during COVID, we didn't touch a dime of this, really.
No, that's not true. That is not a true statement.
Okay, what did we,
During COVID, if I remember, didn't they push the taxes off for 3 months?
That was completely temporary.
We were utilizing, this fund for, operations.
okay, during COVID, there, no one's suggesting like we go to zero. I'm not, this is not the phrase, I just want to make sure I'm saying that, right? All I'm saying is, you know, is it, short of waiting for town council to make an adjustment to this, you know, do we feel comfortable saying, like, we think it should be like 14% or some other number? In our heads, and either we wait for town council to change it, but for this purpose, we go with some other number that's a little bit lower, that gives us a little bit more flexibility, and we don't want to use all of it either. I think we should leave some fund balance money there. I think that'd be a mistake to use all of it. I know we talk about using the 798 or whatever else. I think that's too much.
Conflicting policies.
Wait, can I ask a clarifying question?
I'm
really
just
quickly?
asking for discussion, you know, whether that makes
Yeah.
sense or not to do.
Can I just ask a clarifying question? When it says 15% of, in one part it says no less than 15% of the town's general fund, and then it says at the same time the intent to equal 60 days operating expenses. Is the entire general fund considered the operating expenses, or are there elements of the general fund that are not considered operational in nature? Everything in the general fund, even if it, okay, is considered operational in nature, okay.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting,
Yeah,
that's an excellent question.
okay.
Well, why is CNR considered general operating expenses?
Because we use fund balance for that, and it actually says it in there.
Says what?
It says it on the budget report that we use fund balance to do CNR.
Right, so why does that make it a general, what was the word you used, James?
Current operating budget or operating expenses.
Right, why does it make it an operating expense?
It's a transfer, it's not an operating expense.
So when we do this 15%,
Take out the-
we
yes.
take that out?
Yes, you would take that
Okay.
out, and he took that out.
We
for
do.
the-
Okay.
And we took it out for the 60-day reserve.
Okay, that was the question.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yes, okay, so we do take it out.
Oh, we do take it out? Okay, yeah, we did.
So 55 days would give us, would be closer to 15% and would give us some additional wiggle room, right? Right, so what's that? How much is that?
Oh, if we plug it in? Plugged it in, it would give us. Right, but that 800,000 number would jump to like 1.7. Down
I'm
the
sorry,
bottom.
which number?
The 799?
799.
That would jump to like 1.7, I think, Sharon. Can you take, you're in the right cell, just take out the 60 and make it 55.
This one?
Yeah,
Or you guys were doing 15%. Oh,
get to 55 days?
It equates to about 15%.
That's
How many days are there in a year?
365.
Right,
Oh, 0.25.
right, but I'm saying, yeah,
All right, now I'm mad.
Yeah. So, again, that's just
yeah.
for everyone to kick around.
Well, but, and let me,
Reasonable amount that you would need to leave in the fund balance.
I was gonna say,
That's
so
that's the philosophical
the next-
discussion.
that's the next
That's the
question.
$1 million question.
That's the next question. We have, for many years here, and we have this problem every single year. Every year, we sit here, we figure out, okay, what's our capital non-recurring budget gonna be? And then, I'm gonna say almost every month, we get another item that shows up, and it's like, oh, we didn't tell you we had to do this, we didn't tell you we had to do that, we didn't tell you we had, we get a pile of CNR requests in the course of the year, which, of course, they're absolutely, we can't not do it, we have to do it. Some of them do fit into that category. Some of them are things that we can't not do. Most of them aren't. Most of them are things that people really want, but we could live without. So the question becomes, how much do we need to have in our pocket to actually be prepared for things that might happen that we would like to have cash on hand for? And honest to God, I would, in my mind, the number is $100,000 or maybe 200 grand, but it's not 700 or 800 grand, even though we probably have spent that kind of money in past years. I guess I am in the place where something we have never done and almost no one ever does is when you have a real emergency, which, like I said, in this town, I don't think we've ever had one, apparently, because we've never done this. You can do a supplemental tax. You know, so if it comes down to that bad, we're in a position to do that. But I don't think we're anywhere near that. Barring another literal worldwide calamity, such as the pandemic, where we had a temporary cash shortfall, I just don't see us having to put aside more than that kind of a number. That's my thing.
And I guess that to add, right, if something comes up that's related to, by just one example, like the grant opportunities, this policy basically says you can go even further down.
Right.
So at least that one category.
Right, and we've never, I don't think all the grants we've ever had that fall into that category never went anywhere near that number. We're talking about $2 million. I don't think we've had $2 million in grants outstanding.
May I also add, I had wanted to, I like what you said in terms of saying it's a minimum in terms of the 900,000 from the leftover, money we put aside for school. I said, okay, let's definitely use that. At the time, it was the 700,000 we were working with before we, cut it down to 55 days, whatever. I said, okay, definitely use that as a minimum. But even, I'd also add that the walk forward of fund balance has the 1.5 million for these other projects to be funded that have been, on our, we're mentally accounting it like the actual unassigned fund balance per the financial statements is,
Right.
it's at 1.46, as of.
Chair, I recommend leaving $250,000 there for possible
So taking,
requests that may come before you, which you can deny, as Mr. Bailey said. But I would leave at least $250,000. And I do want to remind you that this possibly could affect our bonding.
Well, we just did a bunch of bonding, and hopefully we aren't doing any for a while.
Yeah, we probably
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a,
Probably won't be able to afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
not to put you in the spotlight here by any stretch.
We don't wanna get downgraded.
They can downgrade us even if we're not
Our status.
responding.
Right, that's very unusual, but it's possible.
Do you believe that, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you believe that there may be further discussions around having the council revisit this measure?
Yeah, I think that we probably should have further discussions on it, and again, as two deliberative bodies, I think the point of us is that, you know, we're not stagnant, we adjust with the practices and the time. As the budget continues to grow, you know, the question of what is the more important number? Is it the 15% of operating expenses, or is it the number of days of operations? Those two numbers have already, apparently, just off the math that you guys just did, started to delta from when the policy was even first passed. So if the goal is, you know, 15%, is that, you know, a certain number of days that we want to make sure we're good by? Or is that a certain dollar value? I think, Steve, maybe you mentioned like a certain dollar value of funds. And if it's, you know, if we want to float down for 8 weeks, then that's what it is. If it's 60 days, you know, what does that 60 days actually represent? It's, I think somebody just said it's like an actual, when you do it by week, it's like something and a half weeks. That doesn't really make sense to have it as a goal. So I think that maybe when it was passed, those two things may have lined up, but as the budget continues to grow, the little delta maybe grew as well. So I definitely think that it's something worth adjusting to comport with the reality, because at the end of the day, something we have to be cognizant of is if we have, well, it was 11 million, but now it's 10. If we have $10 million and that represents, it represented 19% of the overall budget with all the different subtractions afterwards, that means for every dollar we collect of taxpayer revenue, 20 is sitting, or 20 cents of it is sitting in an account not being used. And I think the taxpayers would value, the ones who are following it, would value making sure that their money is both being saved for a rainy day, but also being utilized to keep the services and the programs that they rely upon and desire. So, and I will say this, you know, we had a budget referendum, and I think we did a really good job this year of advertising it. It was in the Rare Reminder. We had the electronic billboards. I did all these Facebook Lives that got, you know, they got thousands of views. But we had really bad turnout this year in the referendum. So and the numbers were out there. I was telling people there'd be a big gap between the two numbers. I was using $3 million worth of growth in the budget, and you know, we still didn't have a great turnout to the referendum. So I don't think there's a pitchforks sharpening for us yet, but there might be if we cut teachers, or we cut cut senior services, or if we cut something, or in the other way. Maybe this is the wake-up call. But yes, short answer, long answer, yes, I think we should revisit the policy so it actually congrues one way or the other. It either needs to be a certain number of days of funding or percentage, but if those two numbers don't line up, then the policy doesn't make sense, because then it contradicts itself.
Well, I'm gonna say one thing, and then unless anyone objects, I think we're just gonna take a 10-minute recess real quick. But I think for the purposes of this year, just to make sure that, again, I keep talking about threading the needle. You know, you made comment about, you know, we've got a bit of an emergency, we got the shortfall here. You know, I definitely think, just from a rationale standpoint, I think that's the right viewpoint to go with, versus just saying, well, let's forget the policy and let's just, you know, ignore it. Let's look at it this way. This is, to your point, a wake-up call, and maybe we just need to revisit, you know, what may be appropriate and what we think is you know, something to be fiscally responsible for going forward. So, just to make sure we're complying there. But look, unless there's any objection, I think we just...
Before we recess, can
Yeah.
we figure out what I heard Tony say was leave about $250,000. So that turns that 1.7 million into roughly 1.5 million. And then we add the 999.
And we add the 929.
So let's if we put 200 or $2.5 million in that number, what does the mill rate look like?
2.4, the mill rate would go to
2.5. I'm 2.5.
It's really 2.4 though.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking some of Tony's money.
I think that's way short of what we want. And
Still 29.
yeah, but here's what I think we should do, or should be pointing at. And I'm happy to wait till after, but I can tell you right now.
So what I'd like to do is, yeah, I'd like to recess to 9:30, so people can use the restroom, and then they can also, if you guys want to play with the numbers a bit, and that way we can circle back, maybe we at least have some idea of where people are standing, and then we can
You know, we
move
can try
forward.
to update your sheet to actually use like real formulas or like actually use the 929, 4680.
Okay. Sarah, appreciate you hanging in as always. It's nice to see you, by the way. I didn't say hi. Hi, how are you? Okay. So, back into this here, and just to make sure that we've got a little bit of clarity, Sharon, can you scroll down a little bit and go to the fund balance? Okay. So again, for clarity's sake for everybody, take a look at line 99, okay? Again, we go back to that 740, okay, that we believe is gonna be shortfall in revenue for this year, okay? If you then go down to line 107, okay, the best estimate that we can come up with right now is that on the expense side, we're gonna be 300,000 to the good, right? So,
Can I just clarify that? I asked,
You asked revenue and expenditures.
I did,
Yes.
So
And
that-
yes, it's the same.
it is or it's not?
It is the same number.
Okay, so that,
So because,
that 300 is
So-
after the 740.
I'm letting him use the 525 and the 744, so I'm not using that in my 300. Because you see, he's using that in the 1269. Overage and miscellaneous income.
so hold on, Sharon. Let's, hold on. Hold on. When we get to June 30, strictly take the revenue piece out of it. From an,
Take what you're using.
an expense standpoint, right? If the BOE and us last year, right, we are expected to expend 66, 228, 762, right? When we hit June 30, I took the 300,000 to mean we're actually going to be at 66, 928, 762, $300,000 short of total expenses.
Right.
In a good way.
In a good,
In-
right.
in a good way.
So we are expending 300,000 less than what we anticipated.
But what I had asked was, is that number, and I think the answer is now no, is that number a net end from operations for the balance of the budget? And the answer is no.
Because he specifically asked me the underage in expenditures.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, when I asked you a question.
So I apologize, I misinterpreted your question.
Yep.
Okay.
I took it your
So
way,
this-
Sharon. I took it as like, just from operating, we're spending less, but then we're also making more revenue, so the two pieces.
So at the end of the,
Just one more time.
yeah,
The phrase underage from current year expenses refers only to expenditures and has nothing to do with how much income we got last year, or this year. Okay.
And, oh, sorry, and it has nothing to do with us having, the 740 for the taxes.
that is in that next cell down.
That's a separate thing.
So all I'm looking at here, right, is if we were to try to net this out when we get to the end of the day, short revenue 740, expense to the good 300. In theory, there's a 440 hole, or a gap between revenues and expenses there.
Right,
in
before
theory.
you get to this 1 point.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Does any of this, was the education surplus that they had this year, or from last year, does that impact any of this? Like, are we,
You talking the surplus that BOE had?
yeah,
So if you recall, when they did their budget, they took their surplus and they allocated it towards things that didn't make it here.
Okay.
So they're taking care of things outside of the 42.4.
Fund balance report, I have the Board of Ed at 0.
okay,
Yeah, they,
Okay.
to their credit, they took it and they said, we'll get down to 0 and we'll take care of XYZ items so it doesn't get baked into the cake.
okay, perfect.
All right? So, I don't know how that may affect people's math or viewpoint of this thing, but where I was trying to look at it potentially was, and that goes back to my comment to the mayor, was, how do we smooth that gap basically instead of a one-time,
Yeah.
deal?
One time pull forward, because
That's it.
sets you up.
That's it. So, again, I don't want to reopen if we had gotten close to what we think we were doing here, but that's how the math there works.
Yeah, because I would say if you, like that 1.3 is one time, because the Eversource rebate is definitely one time.
That's right.
And then the investment income overage is on the,
Zero.
yeah, is on the backs of having the ban for a while, but now we could say, so that 1.3 is gone next year.
That is another way to look at it.
Of course, yeah, we're not gonna have to reimburse the Covenant Living 740, but yeah, that's gone, and then the education fund is gone, that's a one-time thing. And then Tony said the warehouse, the Amazon warehouse gives you 800, so you could maybe say that's
This
covers
is
it, yeah.
this is where this, you know,
I think if we go all the way to the guardrail of 15% now,
yeah.
then we really have nowhere to hide next year, unless there's
And that was where, if we want to look at 15% plus the 250 buffer,
Yeah.
plus trying to smooth that a bit, take the remaining with the 929, put it up there. That was where my brain was kind of going.
Plus, I personally like a nice even mill rate. I think we gotta go, like,
Well,
we gotta go to the second decimal place, it gets really, like,
One other thing to remember, though, is that we
it's hard to remember.
think of this as happening on July 1st, and it doesn't. For example, let's say we were 400,000 short at the end, on June 30th of this year
Yeah.
because of this stuff, right? Well, in September or something, once it's all audited and done, Sharon would then take 400,000 out of the fund balance to even it out. Well, of course, income has started coming in by then, people started paying their taxes, so we've got cash on hand, so.
Yeah.
Well, what's our fund balance today? Well, this is our theoretical fund balance, but the balance is much higher because we've taken in income.
A bunch of cash.
And school hasn't started yet, so we haven't really.
The worst case would be, we needed fund balance on July 1,
On
like,
July 1,
yeah,
which
yeah.
that's not gonna happen, so, and then whatever number it is that we take out of fund balance, we really need to have that in June of 27.
Correct.
We don't need it
Yeah.
until
Yeah,
then.
it's to get to the end. Not at the start, it's to get to the end.
Yeah.
So,
But we'll start mentally accounting for it as
we will be
being
paying attention to
unavailable,
this in the
yeah.
course of the next year, And there's things we can do if we have to.
All right.
Okay.
Right,
Um,
so
Do-
John,
do you-
tell me where you want me to go. You
well, I was gonna say, or I can take the mic and drive. I don't know what. You want me to drive? Okay, so here's here's what I'm thinking. Hold on.
I'm just gonna solve for a mill rate of 1.99 increase to the mill rate. It's like
Was it a markdown?
yeah, what the marketers do, like, oh, it's 1.99 mill rate increase,
So if we do it to
just
1.99.
under 2.
Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, you ever use Gold City?
Okay.
Set the cell to, here, I want this changed,
So here's what I want to do.
99 by changing this cell.
We got 55. Okay, does everyone agree? Let's start at the top here with this 10,239. Chris, Matt, I know you guys are keeping track.
Sorry,
of it.
go ahead, yep.
You agree with that 10,239 number?
Yeah,
And the label should be
55.
55.
Yeah,
Yep. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. Where it says current available fund balance, just for purposes, because I think we're all on the same page with this, I'm gonna add in the 929.
Sure, yeah, it's
Okay.
easier to keep it off the books.
All right.
then, yeah.
So now we got capital projects financed at 1973, which we're already taking into account up top here. Okay? So that leaves us with 266. Okay? If the idea here, again, is to leave 250, we're gonna zero that out. Okay? Is to leave 250 on top of, so we all agree the base point is this 10,239. So we wanna take 10,239, add 250 to it, right?
Sure, yep.
And then again, and I don't know how to do this, but if there is a way we want to reflect smoothing out that revenue shortfall, expense shortfall deal, do we want to look at that in a certain way, or are we just gonna chop it and go? Okay,
We
So
can always
if
round
that's the
down or something. We
case-
can always round down the mill, yeah.
Okay, so if that's the case,
Round up
then,
the mill rate.
hey, Chris, any chance you can come up with how many days it's needed for 10,489,404? Well, you guys see where I'm going with this. I'm just adding 250 onto
Well, but
55-day
you know
reserve.
what? Why don't we add a category, which is between those two, which is reserve available for emergencies, or something like that.
Isn't that fund balance left? I don't understand.
If we wanted to be something different,
Yeah.
it's not related to the number of days, it's related to something different. It's related to emergency expenditures set aside.
FY 27 projects, we'll call it, or something.
Yeah, sure,
Okay,
yeah, make that.
250,
It's a negative 250.
okay? So, that's that, minus that, and then minus 250, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay?
Is that right?
Right, because that would then be 10,489,
All right, I
right?
got, yeah.
So funds available after.
2410, 678.
Right, so if we then take, what was that, C 122 equals C 122. So if we use
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
that,
you're saying 2.4, yeah.
it's a 195.
Yep. That's what we got. Mill rate change. Yep.
And what would the rate be?
The 2928.
So we're keeping it under 2.
Can we just go to 2930 with that? And still keep it under 2.
You wanna keep 252,000?
I just want to be able to remember the mill rate was 29.3, not 29.28.
what?
Or do 29.29.
2410, I mean, we're talking round numbers here, just make it 2.4 million.
The which one?
Mill rate's 2929, go up 1.95.
This
So
2.4? No, that's accounted for up here.
7.15% year over year.
Oh, that's a nice round number.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know why we're trying to plug that.
Those two
exactly.
combined, 4,383,880.
Whether it's
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
1.92,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna remember either one. So just get a little older, and it all works out.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I love this.
Are we actually in a motion right now? No. Beautiful. We are in a what is the motion right now, sir?
For one,
To use the 1.9 million from fund balance.
Oh, right, we just used.
That was our
the
starting,
CNR.
our starting bid.
oh, so you gotta add the two together?
Yeah.
Well, not only that, we gotta add that plus the 929.
Capital account?
929 in there.
Do we have to make a motion separately to use the capital account?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Okay. Well, do we seem to have a consensus?
I think we do, although I think we gotta back the numbers out.
Okay.
To figure out what number.
So here's what I'm gonna do. If someone could make an amendment to the motion to allocate or reappropriate 929, 949 from the, what's the name of the fund, Sharon? From the capital fund. Can we move it into fund balance? Is that okay?
Cash. move
You're
it.
gonna be,
Absolutely.
I would say yes, cause you're gonna be, so I would say we're using it for CNR projects.
Use it for CNR projects?
Well, wait, let's ask a simpler question. Could we just simply eliminate that fund? And wouldn't it automatically go into fund balance?
Town council did the fund. The county council.
I think we have to allocate it towards something.
Doesn't
And it specifically says capital projects.
Oh, okay, so,
So I would say use the 929 for the capital.
Towards fiscal year 27 capital non-recurring expenses.
okay.
Okay, so is there a second on that
Second.
amendment? Okay. And then, so crap, so we're currently 1.9 towards CNR. Yeah, we gotta redo this.
Let's, yeah, I was gonna say,
We
let's
gotta redo
take a
this.
minute. I think what Sharon has suggested, and I think this makes sense, is that we take whatever's left in the debt service fund and transfer that into the capital projects fund. Then we take an additional amount that's the difference between what we have on that line now and, and that number, which is roughly $1 million, and appropriate that to that line item. And then whatever the is left of.
We gotta do the delta.
Yeah, that's.
Stabilize.
We didn't approve the expenditure.
To use as a stabilization.
No.
Yeah, well, we have 3.2 million in debt service.
Which will, by the way, which will still come to 2575,
Correct.
but the other ones will change, the other numbers will change.
Well, if we stick with what's up here right now, Mr. Mealy, we're looking at 2410.
Right.
That is what, if we use the same number down this way, the 55-day reserve, the 250 availability for next year, add in the 929, we would be using 2.41 to stabilize.
After we've taken the 900, almost
Yep.
$1 million out of capital projects.
Correct.
Sure.
And that is a 195 mil change. So,
Translate that into English.
yeah,
Slightly different.
yeah. Okay. Uh-oh, we lost the TV. No, it's back. All right, here we go. All right,
You still have a motion on the floor.
we
Trying to find an.
we have an amendment that's on the floor. So, let's, hold on, we gotta do a delta here. So,
Right.
we're gonna do equals this minus, so everyone agrees we're using 929 plus 1.48 out of fund balance?
Yeah.
Does everyone agree with that?
Wait, 1.48?
So all I did
The
here,
148 is coming out of
Ed,
the fund.
was I took the 929 out that I'd added in,
Right.
and so 929 plus 148 gets us 2.41?
Oh, but you're putting in, that's the stabilization number.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Eh,
So,
sure. Close enough.
or, you know what, I'm gonna do it a
What are we
different way.
doing
Minus. Okay, this is what we're gonna do now. So there's currently, can we retract the amendment?
Sure.
Whoever seconded it?
I withdraw my motion.
Okay, so here's what I think I wanna do, guys. We're gonna make an amendment to allocate 929, 949 towards capital non-recurring projects out of the capital fund. We are then going to take the remaining 1,043,253 and put that towards capital projects.
Yeah.
We are then going to take 2.41 million out of fund balance into the rate stabilization, into the mill rate stabilization line.
Right.
Does everyone agree with that math?
I believe so.
Yeah, I agree with it, it's just how are we classifying, if we had to say how much was used from fund balance, would it be that,
It would be everything except the 9.
everything except the 9, yeah, everything except the 9.
It would be 3, 4.
3.4, yeah, that's okay, we're in agreement then, yeah. that's
Yeah,
okay.
345,931,
Yeah, yep.
okay? Okay, so, we currently have,
Which is a lot, by the way. It is a lot.
Yeah, well, last year we did 4.6.
I know. This is 2 years in a row.
all right, okay,
Yep.
so here we go.
Go ahead.
So we've got a motion for 1973. I'd like to amend that motion to make that figure 1,043,253, while utilizing $929,949 out of the capital, what is the capital fund? Capital fund towards capital non-recurring projects, in addition to using $2,410,678 out of general fund balance for rate stabilization.
Yep.
Everyone agree? Can someone make that motion?
So moved.
Yeah, fine. Just to
Second.
be clear, we obviously don't appropriate it to anywhere when we're using it for rate stabilization, it simply sits. Because we have,
Sure.
we just raise fewer taxes, so
Correct.
it eventually,
Yeah,
But it is being identified as a mill rate
as
stabilizer.
as a revenue source for current expenses. Yes.
Okay? Is there a motion?
Motion,
Who seconded?
so moved.
Okay, so made by Mr. Waganowski, second by Mr. Flanders. Discussion. Hey, man, welcome to the party.
By the way, this is slightly less, so what's the mill rate now?
The mill rate, if this were to go through, would turn into 29.28, an increase of 1.95.
Yeah.
Taking out 100,000.
Then 29.28? Well, someone, I mean, listen, is the math wrong?
Everything the math, no, I got the same figure, yeah, which, yeah.
Yeah. You want that?
You understood
Yeah,
that,
29.28.
and we're able to translate it into English, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Kinda, I think so.
It's a 7%, I don't know if people are doing it, you get a 7% increase. in
7.13%.
taxes. Yeah.
And again,
Let's not put it that way.
Yeah.
it's on there now. Okay, is there further discussion?
So the increase is, 1.95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did John do this breakup though? Okay, he said, yeah, 9 from there, here's that. Yeah.
You'll have it. What is the fire? We'll have it.
Okay, scroll down.
I mean, think about that.
We're over two.
The healthcare costs went up 20%.
Oh,
I'm just saying, put in context, you know, just trying to find some other
Look.
context to.
look, Covenant Living, the new middle school, benefits alone. I mean, that's
We can explain.
Flat grand list.
flagrant. I mean, we got a lot of headwinds, guys. So. Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signal by raising your hand. Motion carries unanimously. All right, I'll get out of here. No, I'm getting out of here. I feel like a stand-up comedian holding this thing. I just get over here. Craft a statement.
Gotta approve.
Yeah, we gotta set a mill rate.
Gotta set the mill rate now.
We didn't actually do it.
It was implicit, not explicit.
I'll be leaving now.
Okay.
What's that, Lassie? Timmy's
Yeah.
down the well?
Can I? Yeah. Can you imagine what just got up and left? Okay. Well, I appreciate the discussion. Can I have a motion to approve the fiscal year 27 mill rate of what are the 29.28? Is that what it was?
So moved.
Okay, apparently not. All right. I heard move. No one seconded it.
Second.
Okay. So, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by raising your hand. Opposed? We're set to go. All right. Chairman's comments. Guys, I really appreciate the discussion. I really appreciate the thought. I think we're really trying to find a balance here to take care of our taxpayers, our constituents, and be mindful of us fiscally. The mayor, I appreciate you wanting to come out and maybe, take a look at our fund balance policy. I think that'd be something good to revisit and just see what makes sense. I'm not saying one way or another which way to go, but I appreciate the thought there. Sharon, Tony, as always, thank you. I know this is not easy, and you guys put a lot of work and research in, and I appreciate everyone doing their homework coming into tonight. So I know it was late, but it was a lively discussion, and I think we were on the ball here. So I greatly appreciate it, and just thank you. So I know Dan's not here, so I'll open up to good and welfare. Anybody want to add anything?
Just, are we doing a May meeting? Are we doing a May meeting?
Sharon, are we doing a May meeting?
I might, so, I just wanna say, I did transfers last year in June, and, people didn't like that, so would you rather we had a May meeting, and if I find we need to transfer, I don't know that we're going to,
Okay, well, just keep me posted, and,
No, I have nothing right at the moment. I've looked at
and is the council taking up anything that's funding dependent? Okay. Any other good and welfare? 9:54, good job, guys.